and realises that there is something still to be said, which I find hard to believe. But perhaps Councillor Beckett, as you're next up, you can disabuse me of that.
Once more into the breach, dear friends. Once more. Sorry to continue the Shakespeare that we have, but I think it's important to stress members of the opposition here declare this as a war on motorists. The government declares this as a war on motorists. This is not a war. We should not be thinking of it as a war. This is a place where we should all be working together. By making it a war and by turning it into a wedge issue, you completely lose the fact of how difficult this is and how much it requires us all to work together. These are some of the most serious issues affecting our time, and we need to work together, not simply wedge it for political gain. It comes as no shock that we discuss this today when we've heard from Roxanne DeBow from Campsite who couldn't get here because her bus didn't make it and got stuck. Councillor Count's car broke down today, so he couldn't make it. I dread to think what the repairs might cost Councillor Count to fix his car with whatever happened to it. The sunk costs of owning a car are so often not taken into account. We heard Councillor Tierney here saying today that people didn't want to pay for the congestion charge. And we heard Councillor Hunt talking about the cost of coming from Streatham and paying for it. Well, I did some quick maths on how much it would, over the total cost of car ownership it costs to get from Streatham to the biomedical campus and back, and it's about £12 a day. So therefore, the people that are driving there are already paying that, and therefore they need public transport or other ways to be able to help them that are cheaper. We so often forget the sunk costs that we have with our motor vehicles and just count it out the window. We cannot do that. We have so many people that are more disadvantaged. The poorest 40% don't own cars that need the help to be able to get to these places. The cost of car ownership needs to be factored in anything we do. But fundamentally, we need better public transport. We need less traffic in our cities. We need less pollution. We need less deaths and seriously injured people on our roads caused by cars. We need to stop climate change. We need all of these things. This motion has a lot in it, which I agree with. It might shock you there. Councillor Count says the situation is deficient for the daily needs of our residents. I agree. Councillor Count says short-term improvements become increasingly necessary. Again, I agree. A long-term sustainable solution also remains a key requirement. I agree. But to go back to what so many people have said, the Conservatives here aren't coming up with solutions. They're asking for more discussion. We have gone around and around with the discussions. We actually need to come to solutions. It's so easy to talk. It's so difficult to actually come up with something that people are willing to vote for and willing to do. And that, my friends, is what's actually important. We all like to talk as councillors. I know we do. It's why we're here. But actually, what's more important is getting things done for our local residents. Ruling out road pricing for a start is also utterly silly. We've heard from Councillor Nethsinger just what the government acknowledges that it's needed. Hugh Merriman says as much. The government makes £25.94 billion in 2022 from petrol and petrol taxes. That is obviously going away as we move to decarbonisation of transport. Where is that money going to come from? That money that funds our services that we need so much. There is really only one option that people can see, and that is road pricing. So it is coming at all of us, and just ruling it out is stupid because it's coming anyway. The government says that it needs to come. They are the ones pushing all of this. It's not that we will be doing it. It is the fact that central government has to do it because there are no other options. So having that there is just silly. We need to discuss all of this. Transport is undergoing one of the biggest changes in 100 years at the moment. Social scientists all say that major change points are where you can actually make a difference for the better good. And that is what we need to be doing now. We need to be seeing this as an opportunity, this change, this decarbonisation, to find out where we can make our lives better for people. So I'm always willing to talk to the Conservatives about this and my friends on the other side. I know at the Highways and Transport Committee we often work together. We're often unanimous in our votes. And in fact, I believe at the last Highways and Transport Committee meeting, we've all voted together on pretty much everything. I think the only person that didn't vote with us was Councillor Hunt on 20 miles an hour and a few other things. But otherwise, we voted together. So I'm very up talking to the Conservatives. But it needs to be done without preconditions. And it needs to be done with them being willing to actually implement something. Less talk, more doing.